The party was loud, crowded, and full of familiar faces I hadn't seen in years. Music thumped through the walls, laughter filled the air, and for a moment, I forgot about responsibilities, routine, and even my marriage. It felt like stepping back into an old version of my life, one that was carefree and reckless. That's when I saw him, my ex. He stood near the drinks table, older but still carrying that same confident smile. We locked eyes, both surprised, both amused. It felt strange, like bumping into a memory you thought was buried. We exchanged polite words, then jokes, and slowly the distance between past and present began to blur. We talked about harmless things, jobs, mutual friends, how time had changed us. There was no tension at first, just nostalgia wrapped in humor. I remember thinking how silly. It was that someone who once meant. Everything now felt like nothing more than a chapter already closed. As the night went on, the jokes grew bolder. Someone teased us about being the old couple, and we laughed it off. In that moment, trying to prove how unimportant it all was, I did something incredibly stupid. I leaned in and kissed him. Quick and light, meant as nothing more than a joke. The second our lips touched, reality rushed back. It wasn't funny. It wasn't harmless. My heart started racing, and I pulled away, laughing nervously as if laughter could undo what I had just done. I looked around, hoping no one important had noticed, but he had. My husband stood a few steps away, frozen, his face unreadable. The noise of the party faded for me, replaced by a heavy silence. Our eyes met, and I knew instantly that this moment would change everything. He didn't shout or cause a scene. That somehow made it worse. He simply turned and walked out. Panic flooded me as I pushed through the crowd, calling his name, but he was already gone. The joke had ended, and the consequences had begun. At home, the air between us was thick with hurt. I tried to explain, repeating the word joke over and over, but it sounded empty. How could something so careless feel so cruel? He listened quietly, his disappointment cutting deeper than anger ever could. He told me it wasn't just about the kiss. It was about trust, respect, and how easily I had crossed a line. Hearing that made me realize how selfish I had been, more concerned with appearing carefree than protecting the person who loved me. That night, we slept in silence. Backs turned, the space between us heavier than words. I lay awake replaying the moment again and again, wishing I could rewind time by just a few seconds and choose differently. In the days that followed, rebuilding trust was slow and painful. I apologized without excuses and accepted that forgiveness couldn't be rushed. I had to prove, through actions, that my marriage mattered more than nostalgia or foolish jokes. That kiss lasted only a second, but it taught me a lasting lesson. Some jokes aren't jokes at all, and some moments can change a life forever if you're not careful.